Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got Drake Maye, the most hated QB in the 2024 NFL draft, bro. Now, I've been hearing that Drake Maye might be a little racist or whatever, or some shit like that. I'm hoping it's not true, but let's go check this out.
We spent the entire college football season talking about Drake Maye being a top quarterback prospect. But it feels like we're just starting to overthink it. It reminds me a lot of the way we glossed over and downgraded Justin Herbert ahead of the 2020 NFL draft. Now, maybe history is repeating itself with Drake Maye before the 2024 draft. Drake Maye just had a good 2-year stretch at UNC where he showed a lot of NFL potential. Everyone expects him to be a first-round pick. The question is where he'll go. I doubt he'll jump Caleb Williams at 1 to the Bears, but it feels like every other team should be in play. I think Drake Maye is a good prospect, and personally, as a Washington fan, I want him at 2. The discourse around him has changed a lot and really fast, and I'm telling you, it just reminds me so much of what happened with Justin Herbert pre-draft. Justin Herbert,
I didn't even I wasn't even watching college football like that when Herbert got drafted.
He was good as a freshman and kept getting better. Herbert was expected to be a high pick in the 2019 draft, but then he decided to return for his senior season and had an even better year with 3,400 yards and 36 total touchdowns with only 6 interceptions. Herbert
That's really good.
Had the numbers and showed talent that could translate over to the NFL level.
But Oregon Duck unis are fire.
With some really good quarterback prospects. Joe Burrow was coming off of winning the Heisman Trophy and winning a national championship at LSU. Jordan Love also went in the first round of that draft at 26, and Jalen Hurts went in the second round. The real tough decision was at 5th overall to the Dolphins, who ended up picking Tua Tagovailoa over Justin Herbert, who went to the Chargers with the next pick. He's had a good NFL career so far. He has over 20 touchdowns in each season, and last offseason, he signed a 5-year, $262.5 million
crazy,
extension. Justin Herbert has been a good NFL quarterback, and his pre-draft talk just really reminds me a lot of Drake Maye, but that doesn't necessarily mean he'll be good in the league. Really don't know
that is
why
true.
So many people have switched up on Drake Maye so fast, but I still want
I haven't fully switched up on anybody, to be honest.
In college, he was good,
everybody that I fucked with coming out of college, I still fuck with to this day.
Had the potential to be a good collegiate quarterback. His father, Mark Maye, played quarterback at North Carolina from 1983 to 1987.
But I don't see nothing wrong with Drake Maye though.
A quick stint with the Buccaneers before becoming a graduate assistant at UNC. Drake Maye is now carrying on his football legacy, but he isn't the first North Carolina recent Maye to become a star in that Carolina blue. Luke Maye is a name that every Tar Heel fan knows, and really every March Madness fan. He spent 4 seasons at North Carolina, won the national championship in 2017. His little brother, Bo Maye, later walked onto the basketball team as well. The Maye family actually had 2 national championship winners in 2017. Cole Maye played baseball at Florida and won the College World Series.
A lot of Mayes, huh?
17 on that loaded Gators roster that had Jonathan India, Brady Singer, and Jackson Coar, all first-round picks. It's safe to say that the Maye family is very talented, and Drake Maye certainly proved that at UNC. I personally think it's always really cool to see a local guy, homegrown guy, have success in college, and that was Drake Maye, but that almost wasn't the case. Drake Maye was born and raised in Charlotte. He was a 5-star recruit, the best player in North Carolina, and the 4th best quarterback in the class. 2 spots behind Caleb Williams, 3 spots behind Quinn Ewers, and 2 spots ahead of JJ McCarthy. Drake Maye was a top prospect and decided to commit to Alabama. Of course, he then flipped to North Carolina. He redshirted.
I didn't even know that. Yo.
Played a little, throwing the ball just 10 times.
I mean, he probably flipped it because he was probably never going to get a start there.
He was drafted by Washington and was actually recently traded to
that was around like when
Seahawks.
Bryce was still starting.
Howe and Maye back together on the Commanders would have certainly been something, but the two were apparently still good friends. Once Howe did leave for the pros, Drake Maye beat out now Arkansas quarterback Jacoby Criswell for the starting job. job. Maye went on to have a very impressive redshirt freshman season. He had 5 different games with 5 touchdowns. UNC started the year unranked and then got as high as number 13 in the country. The Tar Heels started really hot. They won their first 3 non-con games and lost to Notre Dame to close out September. I then got to see Drake Maye and the
oh my
Eagles
gosh,
on October 1st in Chapel Hill. Virginia Tech went down there and got crushed 41-10.
41-10 is crazy, gang.
It was ugly. It's probably one of the worst sporting events I've attended personally. The Hokies got crushed. It rained the whole time, and we had to drive there and back from Blacksburg. It sucked, but Maye looked legit. That was the first of 6 straight wins for North Carolina. They were 9-1 and number 13 in the country. Then the Tar Heels lost to a not very good Georgia Tech team.
Wow.
NC State in double overtime. That led into a loss to number 9 Clemson in the ACC championship game and a loss in the Holiday Bowl to number 15
I remember
Oregon
that game.
and Bo Nix by just 1 point after the Ducks scored with 19 seconds left to win the game. UNC finished 9-5 and Drake Maye had a historic year. He had a school record 4,321 passing yards, which was originally held
Drake Maye is very talented, bro. Like, nobody can deny that, how talented he is. He's got the arm talent. He's mobile when he needs to be.
700 yards and 7 touchdowns. Drake Maye earned a lot of expectations for the 2023 season, and like
he's got the legs to move around. He's not your typical pocket passer.
Started off with 6 straight wins, including over number 25 Miami, when Maye had a season high 4 passing touchdowns. The Tar Heels look good, but the same thing happened from 2022. North Carolina fell apart during the stretch. They lost back-to-back to Virginia and Georgia Tech. After winning 2 straight to rebound, they lost to Clemson and number 22 NC State to finish the regular season. Maye decided to opt out of the Duke's Mayo Bowl, and Connor Harrell played instead. It was a down year, but it was actually still pretty good for Maye. He finished with 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, and rushed for 449 yards and 9 touchdowns. It certainly made a difference losing his top receiver
Josh Downs.
for Colts third-rounder Josh Downs. Drake Maye is a big quarterback. He lost some of his talent, and his draft stock has dipped a bit. It's just so many similarities to Justin Herbert. Drake Maye is certainly one of the best quarterbacks in the class, just as Justin Herbert once was. The question is where he's actually going to end up come draft day. Caleb Williams should be the selection at 1 to Chicago. Everyone expects that. Drake Maye is the guy that was talked about all season as the consolation prize. He was the expected 2nd overall pick, and I still do think that'll be the case, but Jaden Daniels has really complicated that, and a lot of Washington media do think that Daniels is now going to be the pick. He just had a great Heisman winning season, and he draws a lot of similarities to that Joe Burrow kind of coming out of nowhere in year 2 story at LSU, of course. He's shown a lot of talent, as has Drake Maye. Both have been very mobile at the college level, which NFL teams obviously want. You add that to his ability to throw the ball downfield, and
like, his arm talent is insane.
Of course, so much of what makes a young quarterback successful are the pieces around him and his situation. I personally really do hope that ends up being in
Look
Washington.
at Dan Quinn.
Adam Peters and Dan Quinn were both there at his pro day.
Damn.
He put on a show. I think he'd fit well with Cliff Kingsbury. Obviously, Caleb Williams would already have a good rapport with him, but he'll probably land in Chicago. I know Drake Maye or Jaden Daniels has been a very popular debate, but I feel the same way I did months ago. I truly think that Drake Maye is closer to Caleb Williams than he is to Jaden Daniels as a prospect. That's just my personal opinion, though. Daniels could be a very fun NFL player, and I do hope he develops well, and what I think is going to end up being New England, but I think Drake Maye has the 2nd highest ceiling behind Caleb in the draft. I've had the luxury of watching a lot of Drake Maye as an ACC fan. There's been some good, there's been some bad, but I've always been able to see those tools which could make him an NFL quarterback. I know a lot of people have a sour taste in their mouth after Mitch Trubisky and even Sam Howell to a degree, but at the end of the day, you have to look at the prospect, not the helmet. I am a firm believer in Drake Maye, and that's who I hope the Commanders take at 2.
Hey, man. Do y'all think that Drake Maye is gonna be, number 2 overall pick, or is he gonna be Jaden Daniels, man? But that's gonna do it here for me, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, turn on my post notifications to get notified whenever I drop another banger video. And without further ado, I'm out. Gang.